All right. As a reminder, my friends, please, I unfortunately have people who are forgetting to go to the tentative schedule, that this is where all of the past recordings are. Unless in a situation like sleep on Tuesday, I forgot to record it. How sad. But we definitely have at least one day per week that will include the information. This week, we're on the topic of stress management. And what was really cool is that a few friends already started posting in the discussions different ideas of tools to manage stress. You guys, here's the thing, the name of the game in life, okay, is that we are forever evolving people with different ideas and different relationships with events in our lives, which means you may have this brilliant idea of, you know, like I used to do puzzles as jigsaw puzzles as a form of de-stressing, and that's a tool in my box, but my management of time no longer allows me to do jigsaw puzzles, which means now that tool in my box is there, it's forever there, but it's not an actively used tool. So the point being is you want to accumulate as many tools as possible, whether it be ideas for aiding you in the sleep process or ideas for exercise or ideas for stress management. Keep accumulating these, because what may not be prevalent for you now or important or attractive to you now may be attractive later. It's kind of like recipes. As you accumulate recipes over time, some might be like, oh my God, this is the best dish in the world. And then maybe later you'll be like, ew, gross. And then it may come around again. We tend to be cyclical creatures. So I want to say, first of all, thank you to my friends who started contributing to this list, posting the different ideas. For the rest of you, please, if you have things that work for you in stress management, add to this list. I remember back to what Yvonne was saying, that, part of her stress management is she gets out and she runs, and that exercise is what makes the difference for her in managing her stress. I'm not a runner. I'm not sure if I ever will be, but it's good because I know that that is successful for one person. It may someday fit into my equation of being successful for me. All right. In addition to that, I'm not sure if you notice, I'm still missing the mental health equation. I'm just building this information, folks. I have so many darn resources, it's ridiculous. And I want to try to hone it to the stuff that you're most likely to use, because if I give you too much information, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. So I try to really focus on what is the most practical and to the point information. Which means you guys don't have a ton of reading to do, but what you do have is more of that. You may look at it as menial, small, busy work, but really it's that foundational steps, the little teeny things that are helping us build, helping us build positive habits. And habits should be little baby steps, never huge, all right? And those little habits are what make the difference for our health and well-being. All right, before we dive into our topic about stress, do you guys have any questions with where we're at or what we're doing? No?
I just looked out the window and saw Otter, and I was like, I don't feel stressed. She's just sunbathing.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, and that's a really great example, Jacqueline, that the beauty of animals is that whether it be out in nature, observing deer, observing birds, observing lizards, or our own critters in our home, there is a very copacetic, calming experience that happens. And part of it has to do with connecting to other living creatures, not just humans, animals in particular, because they're non-judgmental. I mean, that's the honest truth, right? For them, they just take things the way they are, and you know that everything with them is unconditional. You feed them, you're gentle to them, they're gentle back. You play games with them, you're going to be up a creek. They'll rip your house apart. So beware on that one. All right, well, if you guys don't have any thoughts, then we're going to go ahead and dive in. You have your resources, of course, that was put together, and you have your assignment. But I wanted for you guys to really kind of dive into this conversation. And I hope, did you guys get an announcement with these 5 points? No idea. Okay, fantastic. Let me go back and look.
Yes, yes, we did.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay. Oops. You guys are too cute. All right, let's see. So going back, excellent. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, so yeah, you guys, please keep an eye out on your current announcements. I try not to send these too far out in advance, but to be closer to when, either as the reminder of submitting things or as looking at the information that is before us. Hippocrates, you know, if you had had my nutrition class with me, you would know I'm a huge fan of Hippocrates, just because him being really you know, he was really a philosopher who happened to be a physician, but they're one and the same back then, because a lot of our relationship and understanding human health is a very holistic experience, looking at the whole person rather than diving into very specific, immediate, small things, which are acute. Hippocrates was built on the idea of chronos, time, and our actions, our habits, our behaviors, our physical health, emotional health, our nutrition, activities, all of these are things that build over time. And a statement that he should make along the lines of, you know, to realize that health is our most valuable possession. This is 100% true, because the reality is we can put the human body back together. You know, we can have artificial limbs, we can have, you know, pacemakers for the heart, we can have dialysis for the kidneys. We can put the body together as best we can, you know, medications to lower blood pressure, insulin for when we become insulin resistant. That's absolutely brilliant. And I appreciate what modern medicine has brought us. But the reality is our health really starts with our actions, and our actions are not only physical actions, but they are truly emotional and thought actions. Our perspective, our response, and this being connected to this becomes one integrated being. Next week, when we talk about mental health, we will, mental health and stress management tend to meld together. So it will be a continuation of this conversation, but more so addressing the head start part of this conversation. But for now, the stress management conversation is really whole body from head to toe. So there are 5 things I really want you guys to focus on as a group. And I want to put you into a group, breakout group, so that you can work through these, and then we'll come back and revisit them. All right, so number 1, what is the function of stress and the demise of health? Stress has a very powerful and positive function, and stress can have, unfortunately, a very negative, it can induce a negative reaction. So I want you guys to explore that. How do we recognize stress? Well, part of your assignment, if you had reviewed it yet, is that it is you recognizing stress in yourself and other people identifying how stress manifests with you. But I'd like you guys to start with that precursory conversation of how do we recognize stress, whether you're speaking from yourself first and foremost, or when you've seen it in others. You know, it's funny because television tends to inflate emotions, making it really easy for us to identify things. And so that's a great thing too, is to think about different movie clips. It was cute. I saw this one clip that was talking about what not to do when you are feeling stress and how to release it. And they were showing clips from the movie The Godfather. And the scenes were phenomenally violent scenes of a person releasing their stress by basically beating a person to pulp and killing them. And it's very disturbing. But we are in a place in our society, sadly, where that is how some people release their stress, is by annihilating human life. Fascinating. Let's see. I also would like you guys to consider what triggers stress for people. Consider that for yourself and for society, because we are the people that make up society. So the more we recognize this for others, we also access more understanding of ourselves, because we may think we know ourselves, but there are many layers to us that oftentimes we don't realize, we don't recognize. Do we want to focus on managing or preventing stress? That's for you guys to muddle through and share with me. And then lastly, resources. You know, resources are getting back to, like Jacqueline, looking at Otter Daughter. Okay, that's a really great resource. For me, it is actually walking my husky. That's one of my resources. So these are resources to aid us, which is why I really encourage you guys, even while you're in the group discussion, if you want to start posting stuff as a team, go for it. Because the more we can put out there for people, it's kind of like window shopping, the more ideas we get for ourselves. Okay, any questions on all that, my friends? No, you're ready to go brainstorm? Okay, 2, 4, there's 6 of you. Do you guys prefer to be in 2 groups of 3 or to be in one large group of 6?
I say large.
Large group.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting when it comes to this whole brainstorming thing. You guys have consensus in the different classes has been a larger group so that you can get more ideas going back and forth. Please always remember this is an opportunity to get to know each other better too. And I encourage you, because networking is one of the most powerful tools you will have in life. So whether it be a friendship that you forge or a knowledge base, or this person has this skill set and that degree, and this person has this skill set and that degree, eventually your paths will potentially cross again someday. I mean, I got to tell you, I have people from years ago that I periodically reach out to because I know they have access to things that I may not necessarily know. We're better in teams than we are as individuals. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to pause our